Hi, another film I watched this weekend was The Next Karate Kid, directed by Christopher Cain. It's a continuation of the Karate Kid series from the 1980s, starring Noriyuki Pat Morita, and now joined by Hilary Swank as his new apprentice. The story picks up after Karate Kid Part 3. Young Daniel LaRusso is no longer in the picture, and Mr. Miyagi has travelled to Boston to take part in a memorial ceremony and meet again the widow of one of his old war comrades. He goes to stay with her and notes that she has a rebellious granddaughter of whom she has custody after her parents were killed in an accident. He suggests that the old lady go and travel to his home in California for a holiday, and he will stay and look after the house, and over time gradually bonds with young Julie, who it turns out was taught karate by her grandfather when she was young. The same moves that, in fact, Mr. Miyagi had taught him, and so he takes her under his wing and tries to teach her the ways of karate and engage with the world around her a bit more, as romance and school bullies and such take their toll. It's it's awkward. It's not as good as the first film, but I would say it's possibly better than the most recent, or the third rather. Um, there are some strange, unexplained elements, such as Mr. Miyagi suddenly being made Julie's guardian after knowing her for one day and there being no formalized relationship between them, and that the high school has apparently its own SS, some kind of security squad dressed in black, led by Michael Ironside. Um, there's a romance which is neatly played, and Hilary Swank as Julie, I think, it shows a great deal of promise. Obviously, she's now a double Oscar winner, but she is an engaging and complex character. It's not a particularly great film, but it has an energy to it and more interest to it than one might expect. It doesn't play it for laughs, although there is humour. It doesn't lay on the melodrama too heavy, although it's there as an undercurrent. And making Miyagi's new apprentice a teenage girl gives more of a culture clash element. At one point, he just walks into her room and realizes very quickly why you don't do that. Um, as I say, there are some odd flaws in logic within the story, and I found the very mid 90s soundtrack rather distracting. But overall, it's a surprisingly entertaining and enjoyable film. It stands up, I think, rather well against the originals. It has an impressive cast, and Mr. Miyagi still dispenses very fine wisdom that should be shared by all.